One thing that is very cool is it has a pedestrian airbag. So it will literally pop out an airbag if you crash into a pedestrian. But I would advise avoiding doing that because, you know, it's probably not a good idea. Hello and welcome back to the DoneDeal YouTube channel. I'm David OC and today we're going to be reviewing the Volvo V40. This particular one comes in white with the black panoramic roof and it looks fantastic. Now in general there's a little bit more of exclusivity to the V40 than some of its German competitors. However, it does come in at a price of about 30,000 euros on the road for the base model. With that base model, you're going to get a lot more extras, so definitely worth looking. If you are interested, check out the click down link there and you can see the V40s for sale at the moment. But for now, we're going to check out this particular one. First things first, from the rear, it looks very good. It's got a unique look to it. It's got two real exhaust pipes, which I'm very much a fan of, and this really nice swooping glass into the button, sorry about that, to open the boot. Now, the boot is nice. It's got a few little kind of half split points here, a place to hide your laptops or anything that you kind of need to keep safe, and a spare wheel. You've also got a couple of tethering points, but in general, it's quite basic, particularly for a Volvo, as often you get a nice few little toys. In terms of space, you'll fit two suitcases in, but not very easily. And what I mean by that is this same suitcase, which we use for every video, is too long and the boot won't close. But all in all, it's not actually that bad. There's a small load lip here and it is quite spacious in general. You've also got a 60/40 folding rear seats, which means that you can get a lot longer and bigger items in. In the rear, things are quite tight. As you can see, it's a little bit of a tight squeeze to get in, and now these seats are in their normal position. Knee room, I suppose it's okay, but headroom is not that much. And now, I'm sure any 6 foot tall people will really struggle in here, but I wouldn't know anything about that. However, in terms of feeling and textures and the utilities used, it is sublime. It's really good. They've got a nice little pop open drink holder there where you can pop 2 little drinks in. You've got a nice like leather little pouch here, armrest, and to be fair, if you're not very big, you feel like you're living the life of luxury back here. Things may be a little bit tight in the rear, but they certainly aren't in here. Now, I am a poet and I don't know it, but genuinely, the car in here is very spacious. Obviously, you got the panoramic roof. It's a little bit further back maybe than you'd like, but it does give you a nice open feeling, especially alongside the kind of bright leather. Now, in front of you, steering wheel is nice. A little bit bigger than some of the other cars in this kind of section of the market, but I think when you buy a Volvo, you're not looking for the exact Volkswagen or BMW or Audi. You're looking for something a little bit different. You've got a slot-in key here where you can click start. You've got a nice clear dash in front of you. We'll talk about the infotainment system in a minute because there is a little bit of cluster here and maybe this is where it's lacking a little bit in terms of being a little bit more old-fashioned. In terms of gadgets, 2 drink holders here so you can, you know, storage, loads of space there, 12 volt socket. Door bins here are big, but they won't really fit your water bottle, which like even a small one like this doesn't go in, which isn't ideal. Massive glove box. In fact, probably the biggest glove box in this kind of whole section of the market. And the seats feel nice and comfortable. Of course, you've got plenty of movement in your steering wheel. You can move the seat as high or as low as you want. And generally speaking, you do have a very luxurious feeling in here. The infotainment system. Now, it is pretty good, so bear that in mind when you hear what I'm about to say. The problem is it's good, but it's not the best the Volvo can do. And what I mean by that is the screen's quite small, there's a lot of clutter down here, and we know Volvo can do better because in cars like the XC40 and the V60, which we've both reviewed, have a far better system. Now, I talked about the clutter here. There's a load of buttons and it kind of looks like an old Nokia. It's pretty basic, and this car is a 2019 car. However, it does have things like your sat nav, your radio, your media, your phone, internet, rear view camera. In fact, that's maybe one negative thing I would say, is when you put it in reverse, the quality on the screen of that reversing camera isn't great. But that's a very first world problem to have, really, let's be honest. My reversing camera isn't good enough. But all in all, it's decent. This particular model is the T3 petrol engine, so that comes as a 1.5 litre with 152 brake horsepower. Now, that's hot hatch territory, particularly if you wind it back to the early 2000s. So you're thinking you've got 152 brake horsepower, you've got an 8-speed automatic gearbox, it's a hatchback, it's going to be a lot of fun, but being truthfully honest, it's not that fast or nippy, or the steering and handling isn't fantastic, because this is a Volvo, and I've always maintained Volvos are cruisers, and the type of person who buys a Volvo isn't looking to go fast. So you're better off taking it out of performance mode, sliding up to elegance mode, turning on your heated seats and sitting back and enjoying the drive, because that is what this car is all about. Just a nice, smooth, soft suspensioned, relaxing drive. The other thing I will mention is that this is a petrol engine, and so the average person who buys a car like this is probably buying as a run around town, and that is the perfect engine, and it's more than enough in terms of being economical. The tax is 280 euros, it will be okay. But if you do want to do some mile munching, you can get a diesel engine. They're fantastic, particularly with an automatic gearbox. It will be long lasting, and it will be efficient, and it will definitely still have a bit of poke. It's up to you what engine you get, but all in all, this car is about cruising, enjoying the drive, and relaxing. In true DoneDeal fashion, it's time to do a little bit of nitpicking and find what our favourite and least favourite things about the V40 are. So I did have to go searching. However, the one thing that stood out to me was the overall image. Standing alone, the V40 looks fantastic, particularly in the white with the alloy wheels, brilliant. However, when you compare it to the rest of the Volvo range, it's almost missing something. It looks a little bit innocent, and it just looks like a little puppy, and I just get the feeling that maybe a new one's coming, like maybe they're going to upgrade it, because the XC60, the XC90, the V60, they all have a bit more of an aggressive look to it. And I think that it's kind of maybe missing a little bit in the looks department, and could potentially do with a bit of a facelift. Number 2 is this random hole. Obviously they've made it so it's storage, but I think it's just going to make you lose things. Not only that, but to me it seems like it's just a way to hold this Nokia phone looking clutter right here. Number 3 is this key system. So you put the car in park, it's still on, I haven't turned the engine off, and I get out. Now I want to get back in, and trust me, we do a lot when we're filming this reviews. You put it in drive, won't go because it's switched the engine off. A lot of cars don't do that, and this is just a little bit annoying. It's probably to do with safety, but it's a little bit annoying. It's not all bad. In fact, it's very far from it. The V40 has some fantastic features, so here are 3 of our favorite. Number 1, it wouldn't be a Volvo review without mentioning safety, because that is Volvo's thing. Now, it has a lot to offer in that compartment. Everything from oversized brakes, parking assistance, it even has accident avoidance assist at low speeds. But one thing that is very, 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 very cool is it has a pedestrian airbag. So it will literally pop out an airbag if you crash into pedestrian. But I would advise avoiding doing that, because, you know, it's probably not a good idea. Number 2 is every car reviewer's favorite thing: real exhaust that actually work. Volvo, you've broken the trend, and I congratulate you on that. And number 3 is the standard equipment that comes with every single V40. Believe it or not, this is the entry level. It's called the Momentum, and it comes with so many more toys than any of its competitors. Like, it's literally in a class of its own. And that is one thing I absolutely adore about it. You don't have to go spending an absolute fortune on added extras just to get the car you want. In fact, I'd advise getting the Momentum. There's no need to upgrade to the Or Design or the Inscription model. This has more than enough and will make sure to put a smile on your face. So there you go, that is the Volvo V40. Now before we finish, I want to just bring in a little bit of buying options. So this car comes in about 31,450 euros. Now a lot of people these days are buying cars on PCP, hire purchase, various different things, and we tend to actually search for cars on price per month nowadays as opposed to looking at that overall price. So bearing in mind about a down payment of 9.5 grand, this particular V40 is going to cost you about 340 euros a month for 35 months. Then there is an overall payment afterwards to buy the car completely to yourself, but it is a pretty good deal if you ask me. And it's quite competitive, particularly if you consider all those toys that you do get. That's it for today's review. Thank you so much for watching, for all your recent engagement and in the growth in the channel as of recently. We do really appreciate it. If you have any insight with a V40, if you've owned one and you have any tips for anyone looking to buy one, then please comment below and let us know, as well as any car reviewing suggestions in terms of cars that you'd actually like to see us review, because we basically want to bring you guys all the tips and advices we can and help you get into your next car. For now, that is it. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel and we will see you in the next video.